Saudi Arabia is considering easing regulations on women traveling without a man's permission. Meaning, in the near future, women in Saudi Arabia could not only travel locally without a chaperone or consent from a male, but even, let's say, between two different cities. Currently, women in the ultra-conservative kingdom under the age of 45 must provide proof they have the approval of their male guardian before traveling, even locally. Margaret, think of, let's say, when we used to have hall passes in middle school. You need to show proof that you have consent from a guardian. A male guardian. Could mean your husband, obviously, your brother, your father, or even your son. Basically saying any man in your life is smarter than you, and as a woman, you do not have the mental capacity to do what you want and go on alone without, approval, which is the saddest part. The Director General of the Saudi Passport Department, though, General Suleiman Al-Yahya, he's quite progressive. He says regulations should be changed with a woman's ability to move freely, being based on her reason for travel, as opposed to that with age. But then again, are we just changing one way to control women for another? Her reason should be the most important thing, not her age.
Right.
It's ridiculous either way. But he did say, before I go to you, Margaret, he did say, though, that his country is kind of bringing it in line with more advanced countries. And he said that word for advanced countries, which kind of says, well, hey, he used the word advanced. He didn't say different. He didn't say ultra-liberal. He said advanced, which kind of says something in itself. What do you think?
Well, first of all, there is no law on the books in Saudi Arabia that says women can't drive. These cultural norms are so embedded into the psyche of people, they don't even need a law to restrict it.
Well, technically it is under Sharia law, and that's how they work.
I'm sorry, under Sharia law. You're right, forgive me. They also can't vote in elections, hold bank accounts, not to mention they can't drive. We found an instance where a woman was showing her hands and a police officer threatened to arrest her because of indecency. This is a pretty scary situation. I don't think it's funny at all. I think it's terrible. And unfortunately, they can do whatever the hell they want to these women because they're going along with it. And until, half of their race stands up and says, we're not going to take it anymore, we're going to keep doing stories like this.
So you don't see it as a good thing, that they're easing it, instead of completely getting rid of it, they're kind of saying, well, look, I think it's more important that her reason for traveling is more important than her
gender
age,
or her age.
Gender or her age. But I mean, look, I see it as a baby step. I know this is just one form of controlling women moving to another, but still, it is a baby step forward. And look,
right, so 3 million more of those, and we might actually have something noteworthy to talk about. Let's give them 3 million more baby steps. I'm not calling for women's suffrage in Saudi Arabia, but just common sense here. I mean, it just boggles the brain. It's disgusting, but yay for Yahya. Yay, Yahya. He's making some steps, and congratulations. But 3 or 4 million more of those, and we might actually have a little bit of progress here.
You share the exact same view as a lot of people who take to Saudi Arabian social media. And when I say people on Saudi Arabian social media, I'm always talking about the younger generations, those who are more progressive, who are more open-minded, who might have studied abroad in America or Europe, for example, or Asia, who have more of a taste of Western culture. And like I said, they're more liberal when it comes to their certain ways of thinking. They've said basically what you're saying, yay for Yahya, but ultimately, come on, this is just another form of oppression. I don't care if you're switching around the rules, basically, is what they're kind of saying. So they would agree with you, right? But look, you can't deny the fact that we are seeing huge jumps generationally with their ways of thinking, okay? And this is one small part of a whole rolling out of different kind of reforms that have been coming in the past years that are either pissing a lot of people off in Saudi Arabia or making the younger generations or those who are more liberal kind of, yay, cool. Not a big deal because you're not making huge changes, but yeah, nonetheless, this is, like I said, a baby step.
It's a baby step. Back to your point really quickly, over student exchange programs. Didn't members of the bin Laden family actually do student exchange programs? That doesn't necessarily make someone step into the 21st century when it comes to political, emotional, basic freedoms and rights. I mean, I think that we need to do a lot more. Maybe if we opened up a larger exchange program just for these specific women, just to kind of train them. I don't know. Pardon my frustration, but it's like
Then it gets into the whole conversation of different traditions, respecting other people's ways of living. What, are we going to invade a country? We're going to go and try to save everyone from their draconian ways of living? I mean,
of course
ideally,
not.
we want everyone to have equal rights, but we
I would
don't
just
meddle
be
in
happy
those
if they
things, A,
drove.
because we're good friends with Saudi Arabia and they give us a lot of things, right? But B, you have to respect traditions. Not everyone is completely against it like the younger generations are. But nonetheless, just to reiterate, you know, they are making, I don't want to say lifting because they're not lifting any laws, but they are making small changes. We want to know what you guys have to say about all this by commenting below. Do you think this really shows any progress being made in Saudi Arabia, or is this something to just kind of make the world happy amongst all the human rights violations that they're getting thrown at, that are being thrown at them for their justice system and everything else? Please comment below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lip TV 2 for watching. Thank you for watching.